jumping into spoilers.
Yes.
When you were telling Dwayne and the cat Ryan Gall, did you tell them about the twist in the third act, like when you're describing the movie, or did you say, please read the script and then let them discover that stuff on their own?
So for Dwayne, I pitched him the whole story and then got to the twist at the end. And that's actually the moment when we're having dinner and I pitched him the story and he's listening, he's eating a steak and drinking, da 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 da. He's like, he's kind of into it. I'm like, all right, maybe. And then I get to the twist where, John Hartley is actually the bishop. Dwayne is actually working with Gal. And he got up and he threw his napkin down and he said, I'm in. And then I got really drunk. I'm kidding, of course. But for Gal, like I said, I flew to London and I pitched her, so it was the same thing. And I pitched Gal, and she was so smart. Like she's like, she does not miss a trick. So she was like poking holes the whole way and like calling out twists and turns. And I was like, oh no, she's gonna get this. And then at the end, I tell her that actually she and Dwayne are on the same side, and she didn't see it coming, and she was delighted and said yes. So I think that worked. And then for Ryan, I just sent him the script. I just sent him the script and said, I hope you like it. And he read it and signed up the next day.
I wonder also, listen, if you have Dwayne and Gall attached, and then you're sending it to Ryan, it's like, I mean, there's a good chance he's going to be like, this. I'm probably going to,
Well, I think you'd have to ask him, but I think when you send somebody a script that has Dwayne Johnson and Gal Gadot attached, they'll read it at the very least.
Oh, that's for damn sure. So a few years ago, and it could be the story you're talking about with Dwayne, there's a photo of you guys having a meal. Yeah. And he tweeted, this is back in February of 2018. He posted a pic of you guys and he said, my character will make you think twice about ever judging a book by its cover, even after you've read every page. And he was basically giving away the movie, but no one realized at that point he's giving away the movie.
Yeah. That's the actual dinner. Dwayne's tricky, man. I mean, he's kind of been playing it cards up on his Instagram. If you go back and read his post about his character, it's all there.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was really, really surprised by that. So the ending of the movie, you end in Paris, and you mentioned, so what was the original, what did you originally have in terms of what was the item they were going to steal, or you want to not say because it could change?
I'd rather not say, if that's okay.
Totally fine. So did you end up picking Paris just because it is a city that like has so much history that something can happen there?
Well, sure. I mean, Paris is, romantic and thrilling, and the Louvre, of course, is the greatest museum in the world, and the most iconic. So to me, our three giant movie stars heading into the most iconic museum in the world to steal something, ... is a pretty delicious morsel to dangle.
Obviously, I'm sure Netflix, after seeing the test scores, seeing everyone's reaction, is like, oh, we could use more of this. So, the biggest, I think the tricky part, of course, is scheduling with these actors and having a script everyone likes and all that stuff. But are you currently working on a script, a draft, an idea? Is Netflix saying to you, hey?
Sure. Well, I'm not working on the script for a sequel. I certainly have been noodling with what I would do for a follow-up. And not to tell tales out of school, but Netflix. We've been having those conversations.
Oh, please! This is a no-brainer.
Thanks, Steve.
Is there pressure though when you've delivered a big twist like this in Red Notice? Is there pressure to sort of do another M. Night-esque twist in a sequel, or is it sort of like, do you know what I mean? Are you already thinking about that?
Well, that is such a smart question. I've never made a sequel before. If I were to make one for Red Notice, it'd be my first. And I mean, I think when you set the bar at a certain height, the next one you want to try to clear it. And I think that relates to every element of the first film.
With this film, one of the things you have to do, I've watched it twice, and
Oh.
one of the things that is cool is that when you rewatch it, it's all there. The
Oh,
whole
good.
everything about the ending is
Yeah.
just building towards it. So
Yeah.
I'm curious with the editing process, how tricky was it to sort of deliver nuggets while also not giving away everything?
That's another great question. So for me, obviously we stitch it all the way through, and my hope in the editing process was what I wanted to do was break it before we fix it, meaning that I put in everything. I put in too much. Where when we were showing it to early audiences, 10% would go like, oh, it's Dwayne, right? And then as soon as we had that, I was like, okay, now let's pull it back. Let's take these two other beats out. And then it goes down to almost nobody. And that's what you want. You want to be right on that edge, so that exactly what happened with you. When you watch it the second time, you're like, you slap your forehead because it's right there in front of you. And that's the fun, right?
Oh, 100%. Were you nervous about test screening this with having the twist sort of get out so early or during the process?
I never really was. I guess maybe I should have been. But I guess to me, I I just sort of had faith in the movie going audience to not want to spoil something for other people. And I think there's sort of a code of honor about that. At least I like to think that. So
Yeah, you just stay in that little circle of you'd like to think that.
oh man, yeah. Maybe I should have been a little more hesitant. But I mean, what's the alternative? Not test the movie? We couldn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, of course.